Hello, fine people, and welcome to the show. Today we're going to take a look at ship weapons and how we go about choosing uh, not the right weapon, but or not the best weapon, but the right weapon. Um, it's going to be part of my little series going into combat. So I hope you enjoy it. Like and subscribe if you haven't, and let's get on with it. So spawning here at beautiful Orison, it is nice. This is probably one of my favorites, if not my favorite for now, spaceports or station or city or whatever you want to call it. So I think this one is going to be my favorite for now. Only thing they need to do, as most of you know that's been playing in the PTU, is getting the frame rates and the optimization a little bit better. So I have to turn, in my settings, I have to turn down the clouds to medium. That seems to help my frames a lot, in case you didn't know. So if you got your frames, your volumetric clouds on high, you're going to struggle. And I have a 2080, so I put it on medium, and that seems to help a lot. So we're going to swing over here to the spaceport, grab our ship, and then we'll start getting into how to select not necessarily the best weapon, but the right weapon for your ship. There's been a lot of uproar about ballistics and weapon changes and all sorts of stuff. So I'm going to go over that a little bit today. I don't expect things to stay the way they are. This is the PTU, right? So this is an alpha that has a PTU. Okay, so it's for testing. So people that get all up in the uproar about stuff, just relax and see what's going to happen, right? Because this is for testing. So that's what we're going to jump into today. Look at some loadouts. I'm going to briefly go over some of the things I want to do in my training classes. I'm going to have a basics video for flight. Then we'll get into weapons. Then we'll get into maneuvers and a couple other things. Settings. Settings is a big part of it, depending on if you're using a mouse and keyboard or you're using joysticks and throttles and all sorts of stuff people use. Controllers. So we're going to get into all that because there's a foundation to it, and we're going to go over that first. And once we get that worked on, build muscle memory for that, then we'll work on some of the more cool stuff. All right. So yeah, man, this station, I really like it a lot. My frames are better here at the spaceport than the actual hab area. And it's just absolutely beautiful. I hate I can't turn the clouds up. That's why it looks so grainy looking. But that's the only way I can get decent frames. Yep, really nice place. Now, Pyro, I don't really remember if they're going to have a port or not. But I think that's going to be a nice looking one. A lot of dark and dreary looking place. Nothing like here. But this is a good mix between Microtech and Area 18, I think. Not too much one of the other. Not too techy, but not too industrial. Even though they build Crusader ships here. So ship wise, well, first I gotta put some armor on, right? I don't want to walk out there like this. So we'll throw some armor on real quick. All right. So we just put together a little something. Nothing special. But yeah, let's go ahead and get our ship. All right. So we got our Saber, which is one of a lot of people's favorite ships to fly. or use or whatever, but I'm gonna use different ships throughout these tutorials. So if you notice, I got Gatlings, ballistics, and I got lasers. Those are Panther repeaters, and we'll talk about that here in a bit. But with this new capacitor gameplay, and with the ship stats, the way they move, fly, the way they feel, it's gonna be a lot of management going on, and you got to understand that, because if not, you're gonna really struggle. Manage, especially in dogfight. Dogfighting people, management is probably the biggest thing now that it ever been. Before it was just arcadey, excuse me, arcadey, and you would just get the metal weapon and you just go out and shoot. So now it's a lot of management. So system checks first and foremost. What I'm doing now, I have in my mind capacitors. That's the biggest thing. Now, I don't know if this works, but I do it anyway. For power, I go ahead and overclock this quadricell power plant just so I can get more juice. If it works, I don't know, but that's my mindset. And that power triangle there, that's what manages your capacitors. So you got weapons, shields, and engines. And here I have Panther repeaters, as you see, and mantises. But if you notice, I got them on different groups, and this is important now. It never was important before, but it's very important now. All right, so let me get my door open here. And if you notice, those mantises only hold 250 ammo. So this is a big reason why you want to start using, if you haven't already, understanding to put them in different groups. And we'll explain once I get into combat here. We'll explain why you need to do that. Man, look at this place. There's nothing really to distinguish the landing area here. That's why some people have a hard time finding it. But it'll just come with time. People build up the muscle memory for it, and they'll be like, okay, it's over here. Alright, so we're going to get out of this long atmosphere. And then I'll get back with you in a minute. Alright, so we made it out that atmosphere, and I still don't know what to think about that color of Crusader. I don't know how to feel about that. But we gotta make our way to PO, refuel real quick, pull up a mission, and we'll discuss some of the combat or weapons. Alright, so I made it to PO. Nobody's here going crazy, which is okay. I try to come to PO more often because soon it's going away, or it's changing to match up maybe with the other stations, or be removed completely. So this is a nostalgic place. For you old heads that been around for a long time, you know what I'm talking about. So we're gonna go down here and refuel, get ourselves nice and set up and ready, and we'll start going over a couple of things that I want to help you guys with. And let me know in the comment section if there's anything in particular that you're struggling with or you want to talk about, because this is what this channel is going to be about. It's combat. I don't have the flashy bells and whistles those other YouTubers. I'm straight raw. Okay, so I want to talk to you guys. I want to get a understanding of what I can help you with, because that helps me. I don't know everything, so some of you guys may know things that I don't know, or maybe if you're a new player, I could help you, but I don't know unless you ask the questions right in the comments. Alright, so we got us a bounty, and this bounty is in Hurston, and I'm not going way over there. Alright, so let's find a different one. Let's see. Okay, this one should work. Crusader. Alright. So yeah, if you notice in my weapons, I have 2 Panthers, 2 Mantis. So the idea is being that if some of you understand the patch notes, if you haven't, this recent patch for the PTU has ballistic damage is pretty high, very high. Some people will say ballistics are overpowered, but the trade-off is you run out of ammo pretty quick. So for these fighter ships that have multiple points, hard points, it is best to use a mix, right? So, or you could go all lasers if you're really confident, but I would suggest using lasers with a ballistic or 2 ballistics, right? Depending on your ship, naturally. So we got our target coming up here, and this is the reason I put them on different weapon groups, because there may not be a need for me to use my Mantis. I can just use my Panthers. Now I'm gonna show you how to judge that. Okay, so I know I'm coming up on a target. The first order of business is my capacitors. My capacitors are set medium or set in the middle for power across all the components, weapons, shields, thrusters. So now I'm about to engage. So if you notice, I move my capacitors up to shields and weapons. That give me a little bit more ammo in my lasers, and then I have shield resistance a little bit better too. Alright, so I lead off with the lasers. This is an Aurora. There's no need for me to use my ballistics. None. Alright, because I have limited ammo. And who's to say if a player jumps in or something like that, and I use all my ballistics, or half of them even, well, that puts me in a bad situation. My DPS gets limited, or cut in half, actually. So that's one of the biggest things you got to think about. First, your capacitors. And when the fight is over, I go ahead and rebalance everything back to center. Alright? There's no need to keep it there. Now, you can keep it there, but I move it to remind me that I have to be conscious of it. Right? I'll center it, then I'll move it where I need it. When I'm done, I'll center it, then I'll move it where I need it. That keeps me conscious of it in the fight or whatever's going on. I don't want to set it somewhere and forget it, because then that could put me in a bad situation. I may need more thrust, I may need more shields, and then it's too late, you know, trying to fiddle with that in the midst of combat. It's a lot of management going on now, and you got to understand that when it comes to combat in this patch coming and the upcoming patches. Ship management involves speed as well. So as a fighter, those of you that want to be pirates or dog fighters of any sort, the first order of business too is managing your speed. The ships feel different now. They don't feel like they have in the past patches. You have a lot of forward momentum compared to the last time, which in my opinion there's going to be a lot of jousting going on. But I'm going to teach you ways around that. Alright, so this next guy here, I think, okay, we can't forget missile operator mode. And I did it the wrong way. And I'm going to talk about that if this is the, so I'm looking at what ship, okay, yep. So I locked this missile, that's too soon. You don't want to lock a missile 6, 7, 8 kilometers away. The optimal range, I tell you right now, unless they change it, is 3.5 kilometers. You get up on them, 3.5, lock, send it. Just that quick. That doesn't leave time for your guy to react, your enemy to react. If you lock on further back, that gives the person that you're trying to hit with the missile time to think about what he needs to do, time to react, and so forth. You want to get a little close, then lock it, send it. And if you notice, the NPCs do that. So now you're kind of in a panic, right? Forces you to make a mistake. That's for fighters, not large ships, torpedo ships, stuff like that. Because that'll put them in a bad position if they did that. But for fighters, that's what you want to think about when it comes to the missiles. If you notice here, I'm using a lag pip. And there's a good example of it. But this right here, that's positional desync you see there. I'm shooting him. I got my pip on him, but it's not hitting him because he's not there. On my screen, he's there. He looks like he's there, but he's actually not there. That's positional desync, in case you don't know what that is. When you're fighting other players and NPCs, as you just seen there, positional desync has grown really bad since the last 3-4 patches. But in case you don't know what that is, when you hear people talk about it, that's what they're talking about. So yeah, I got 124 rounds. So I have to be really mindful. And this is one thing I like about it, because it makes you think. It's not just about holding the trigger, shooting at people and stuff like that. You really have to think and manage what you're doing. So I know I got enough ammo to do one more, right, before I have to go and rearm. But at that mix, in case I run out of those mantises, I still at least got panthers, right? So I don't want to go full ballistics, even though they're very powerful and I can probably kill the guy, easily and all that. But then I had to think about myself too later on, right? I don't want to always do one fight, go back to port, do one fight, go back to port. It's crazy. So at least you got an option here. So I use my panthers or whatever laser you choose. And then if needed, I use the mantises or the ballistic, whatever ballistic weapon you choose. So on my right trigger, I have a 2-stage trigger. So the first stage is just the lasers. Second stage, if needed, or if I just want to finish the guy off, then I use the mantises. Now to go a little bit further into it, as you see here, the speed indicator is a little arrow there I just pointed at. So you can keep your eyes on that, because the forward thrust in a lot of these ships has been increased. And if you're going too fast, it's going to mess up your aim, right? And you won't be able to land the shots. And that's more important now, being that we have limited ammo. Here's another bad example of locking on a missile too early. So I take it off. I get closer. I want to get to 3.5. Then lock. Then send it. That's going to make my missile hit a lot more. The percentage will go up a lot more if I do it that way. And that's been like that for the last 2 patches, sending missiles like that. But I'm working in with my Panthers, my lasers. Now, in this situation, I start using my Mantises because it's a 3v1. I need to get rid of him quick, so I start using my Mantises to get him out of there. Even though I know I'm low on ammo for my Mantis. I need to get him out of there because I got 2 other guys on me. So I need to kill him a little quicker than just using the Panthers. Now I've whittled down 2 guys left. So this other guy's really not attacking me that hard, so I can just stick with the Panthers. I'm sorry. Stick with the Panthers. There we go. Now I don't have to use. I got 20. I think 27. I'm using a missile here to soften him up because I'm just going to use my Panthers to finish him. So I'm out of Mantis ammo. Right. So that's why I use the missile. And I'm using that lag pip for this reason right here, right? So you want to get the hang of using that lag pip because taking apart a ship, he can't do nothing. His weapons are gone on both his wings. So he's just a floating whatever, and I can just kill him anytime I want. Or, if you notice, guys, pay attention to what CIG is doing. They hadn't said anything about distortion. So it's not always about destroying your ship. You have to really pay attention. Because they haven't said anything about distortion. And they haven't did anything to distortion. And there's a reason. So you got to think about that too. Pirates are not always going to be looking to blow you up and kill you. They're going to be looking to disable. Right? So once they get the distortion worked out, then it'll be more geared toward disabling ships, not just helping to destroy ships. All right, but this is just a brief overview of what I'm going to get into when I get to the actual classes. Okay, so make sure you subscribe and like the video if you like it. But the next series of videos, once this patch gets a little bit ironed out and stuff like that, and we got Nine Tails events coming up, and I think Xeno again, so I'll be having some videos of that, and I'll be discussing what I'm thinking as I'm fighting to help you out. But we're gonna have actual classes. All right, guys. So I hope you enjoyed this little bit of commentary about selecting the best weapon, and which there's no such thing, right? So that's the point. The point is selecting the right weapon. All right. So right now it's not a difference because across the board weapons are pretty much all generic until they start making stat changes. But this gives you something to think about, depending on your ship, depending on your engagement, depending on what you want to do. That's going to determine how you set up your weapons, right? There's not a one-size-fit-all methodology as it used to be. So you want to start breaking out of that habit if you're in it, and you don't want to be stuck there, okay? Because the game is going to move forward. We don't know what this is going to look like once it releases to live. There may be several changes, all right? But you can at least get the foundation of it, the thought process down to, okay, I maybe need to mix weapons. I maybe need to do this. I maybe need to do that. And that's what we're going to work on, all right? So I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.